Is everybody in? Is everybody in? Is everybody in? Everybody in? Everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin. The ceremony is about to begin.
That Tuesday in July started out just like any other day the past few months. There was no warning it was to be the most terrifying day of my life.
X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain is widely considered one of the best coasters in the world. It was built by Aerodynamics in 2001 as simply X, but it was refurbished in 2008 to become X2. They added on-ride audio, fire effects, fog at the bottom of the first drop, you name it. However, two other 4D coasters like this ride have been built by S&S. Asianica at Fuji-Q Highland in Japan, and Dinoconda at China Dinosaurs Park in COVID land. Meaning that X2 got kind of, outdated. Compared to Asianica and Dinoconda's rotations, X2's is now very snappy and the effects are starting to not work. So now it's time to share my thoughts on how to fix X2 in this all new series I am doing.
Saying that it feels right.
For the layout, I would hire S&S to retrack the entire thing. New track that's smoother, new, and fresh. Then for the layout, the coaster would take the same path it did up the lift hill. However, the trains would be upright instead of an angle when you dispatch, if you know what I mean. And then suddenly the trains make you be straight up on your back as you ascend the lift hill. Once at the top, you plummet down the drop at a much faster pace. Then the train would do its first seat inversion, which would be a lot smoother since S&S would supply new trains for it, but I'll get to that later. Then you go through the Raven turn, but instead of just going through the Raven turn with no seat inversion, you would this time do a backflip while in it, just like its Asian cousins. Then you go down a little dip, get your on-ride photo taken, and suddenly into a 0G roll while your seat does a full 360 rotation. Then the trains go into a piece of track where the seats do a backwards rotation, then go into the exact same turnaround, but this time it would be more banked and taken at a faster rate. Then you go into the fly-to-lie element, which would be way smoother and comfortable and faster. Then pass by the fire that may or may not be working. However, since it will be updated, I'd expect it to be working. Then go into the finale, the outside Raven turn, and hit the brakes. Also, the off-ride footage you're seeing here of the trains tipping forward a lot will happen on this new X2 when it hits the brakes. My next point is the special effects, and X2 is widely known for its special effects, which are mainly on-ride audio and fire at the end. Unfortunately, these effects don't always work. So for the fire, I would replace the motion sensors that trigger the fire with newer, more reliable ones, like I said earlier. And about the audio, well, I'd get a higher quality audio system that's newer and install it on the trains, which leads to my next point, the trains. Take a look at X's trains. These were built by Aerodynamics, and in my opinion, the trains for X looked a lot cooler and comfortable than X2's trains. The new trains would be direct copies of Asianica's trains, only tweaked a bit to have the on-ride speakers on them. And because these trains are newer, they would allow more rotations that would be smoother. Now I'm going to move on to the station and queue. The promotional boards in the queue would be updated with the same RU Type X theme or Type Z, I can't remember, but that's all I can remember. When I went through the queue of X2, I remember seeing these little promotional boards that were RU Type X or Type Y, you know what I mean. So for anyone who's been through the queue, you'll know what I understand. But they would have a sleeker look on them and more modern versions of the things people do on them. The station would be updated to a new modern look with some little TVs on the pillars separating the row gates. Behind the ride operation panel, there would be a big X on the wall. I actually got this idea for the station from an X2 recreation in Planet Coaster that I'll link down in the description. You should really check it out. The recreation is very accurate and really cool. So there you have it. Those are my ideas on how to fix X2. This all may seem a little too much for Six Flags, but I could see them pulling it off. They love SNS after all. Just look at Max Force or the 4D free spins. So, do you agree with everything I said? And what coasters do you want to see me cover in the next How to Fix? Leave all that in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see more. Also, this video was dedicated to Airtime Thrills. If you haven't checked him out, please go do. He's an awesome coaster channel, very informative, makes really good content. If you're a coaster enthusiast, I bet you'll love him. So I'll link his channel down in the description and on a card. You can click up in the corner of the screen. But other than that, until next time, thrill seekers, peace out.